All right, that worked. All right, we're back. Another beer to review. Beer 2 of 3 tonight. I'm going to review. This is from Grimross. Now we got their website here, so I'm going to share screen. Chrome tab. These guys are from New Brunswick. Fredericton, New Brunswick, to be exact. Let's check their beers out here. So the one we're doing tonight is the Maritime Pale Ale, but okay, you got to go through all this shit to. Okay. So they got their Maritime Pale Ale, their Brunswick German Pils, which sounds good. Cheval d'Or, Belgian-inspired, some sort of Belgian ale. And their Maritime Cream Ale. What do they got for seasonals? Pugnacious Porter, Kingshorn Vienna Lager, Baltic Porter, what is that? Bohemian Lager, Hop Blonde, Tree Hugger Maple Brown, a German Wheat Goza, Maritime Wheat Ale. What? Geez, they got a lot of beers. Holy fuck, man. Grim Donk, Belgian-inspired something. Bishop Belgian IPA, Oktoberfest Marzen. Their cans get kind of, they look really nice when they get into their seasonals. Maritime Black IPA, Timvavi Pivo. What is this? Some sort of black lager, maybe? Something like that. Abbey Double. Jesus. They got, okay. They got a lot of interesting stuff. And now they got limited brews, too. So they're doing something, they're doing newer stuff all the time, I guess. They're just kind of like rotating through all this cool shit. Maritime Amber Ale, Highwater Helles, Ben's Country Cousin, Belgian, what is this supposed to be? Farmhouse Ale. Canned Farmhouse Ale. Radler, Grimsby Pale Ale, Abbey Single, Abbey Triple, Abbey Quad. Holy shit. Where the fuck have these guys been? They got all kind of, man, they got, like, they do everything. They do fucking everything. Okay. But I just get their pale ale to try. All right. Interesting. We have Greg in the chat here. Kent Beer Reviews. Good evening, buddy. Good evening, sir. Hope you're doing well. And we got PA Brew News. Ashley Sexton in here saying, what makes it so maritime? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There is no maritime pale ale style. It's just bullshit. And everyone's saying hello to everybody. Paul says Czech brew probably with the pivo. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And Lady Lee in the chat saying you do everything. I don't do everything. I'm not a whore. Thank you very much. And Paul says sounds like a dynamic brewery. Sounds like it. I'm actually kind of excited to try this now. I'm expecting big things here because, and Ashley says, I think there was a wackety schmackety beer in there. All right. So the Maritime Pale Ale. So this must be just their bog standard. Like this is our core range beer thingy. 5.6% alcohol by volume. Hop forward, full flavored, well balanced for sunny days and cozy nights. It claims 35 IBUs. Yeah. I really want to try all their other stuff now. If if I ever do a beer order, you know, if I get a credit card going and do a beer order, I think this might be the first brewery I order from because all their shit looks very enticing. But we'll see what we think of this one. All right. So she's light amber in color. It looks a little darker on the camera, of course. Looks copper, like a little deeper copper on the actual replay here on the camera. But in person, it's a little lighter than that. Paul says, "I do everything," and then Lady Lee says, "Sexy." All right, that is a good-looking beer, though. That looks perfectly fine. Pale ale. Go right to the aroma. Not too hazy either. It's just maybe a little teeny bit hazy there, but it's pretty filtered. So go. Paul says, "Just get at least one of everything they have." And Ashley says, "Nice looking head." Thank you, sir. I grew it myself. Paul's saying, hoping for a nice breadiness. Okay, so the aroma is definitely, if you were to say like what coast pale ale this is sort of situated in, if you abide by those sort of terms, this is much more West Coast. It's got a very pine and a little bit of grapefruit, just a teeny bit of grapefruit in the background, but the hops coming up, pine, grapefruit, a little bit of caramel malt coming through as well. So you can smell a decent balance there. We'll see if the actual taste brings it up, but follows through, I should say. Smells pretty good, though. Perfumey pine and a little bit of grapefruit in the back is kind of where it's sitting. You guys hear them fucking cars and shit going by? Got my fucking window open. And all the hillbillies are out revving up their trucks and speeding down the fucking road in their shit wagons like they're, like it means something. Okay. Cheers. We'll go right to the taste here. Paul says a little centennial action. Yeah, I didn't see what hops were listed on this, but actually, I should just go back to Grimross here for a second. So I'm gonna go. Went to their website and then I didn't even check out what it had to say about the beer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share again. I'm going to go to the Chrome tab. All right, so we'll go to our beers, core brands, and then we go Maritime Pale Ale. So, but I don't need tasting notes. They do not list. That's always a little bit of a bugbear of mine too. They don't really list what hops they use. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was kind of Centennial-ish in here at the very least. Ash Assistant says fucking Camaros, and yeah, it sounds like a sea hop. Yeah. So good taste. Cheers. That's good. Very tasty. Upper light body. It's super simple. It's just simple pale ale, but it's what you want. This could almost get away with calling this like a British pale ale. It would be kind of skirting the sides of ESB, maybe, just in the amount of flavor here. But there is a bit of a malt, like caramel, biscuity breadiness kind of thing. It's not super big, but it's there. It's much more about the hops sort of taking over here, and you get a little bit of citrusy hop, a little bit of pine. Not big grapefruit in the finish or anything like that. Maybe a little tinge. It finishes fairly clean. Not like a lot of dryness or anything like that in the background. So it's definitely not like trying to push into being like an IPA or anything like that. Like it's very much staying in its lane as far as like, yeah, no, we're making a pale ale here. That's what we're doing. Yeah, the bitterness it's there, but it's, it's very sort of well packaged, well put together. There is like no complaints of this. Mm. Little bit of grapefruit, sort of rind dryness coming up now, a little bit building, but it's still very well balanced. Again, it's still not approaching anything you would consider IPA. So, my God, they made a really good pale ale here. And the hops are not like the flavor of the hops too, even though they are the prominent thing in this. They're not jumping out and being super big and like slapping in the face or anything like that. Like everything is like reined in and sort of like perfectly dialed in, I think is the way I'd put it. Fuck. Now I really want all the rest of the stuff in their line. If they're making just a simple pale ale like this and they're showing such restraint, which I really appreciate, because, the temptation would be, oh, we're going to make a pale ale in 2021 and we're going to put a bunch of like fucking stupid ass juicy New Zealand hops or some shit in it, right? And we're going to make it, super mango-y pineapple and with like little bitterness, and we're going to call that our pale ale. And like, I ain't here for that, brother. I ain't here for that shit at all. Not in my dojo. If they can dial everything into style so perfectly for this, like what I understand the sort of pale ale style to be, like this is such a just perfectly balanced, just smooth representation of the style, and just tastes like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just very satisfying in a way that I find a lot of, more bigger experimental brute beers and stuff like that to just not be. I'm buying a lot more of this. This might be a new go-to. But fucking, if they can do this with this is their pale ale, and they can hit that style so well and just like still kind of stand out. They actually stand out for being so restrained and dialed in. I really want to try the rest of their lineup. This is fucking great. I'm kind of thinking this is going to be beer of the night because, yeah. Let's see what they say here. Ashley says, people underestimate how hard it is to balance the bitterness versus malt in a pale ale. It's tricky to do a real good job, in my own opinion. Yeah, and Paul agrees. And yeah, I agree too. This is really, really good. I'm on board for this. I'm on board for anything else they make that I can get my hands on. This is fantastic. as far as style goes, I'm going to give a 9. I've had a few pale ales that are probably slightly better. And even then, they're probably hitting like 9.5 or something like that, you know. Don't try to give perfect scores when I can help myself, but yeah, so 9 for style. And my overall enjoyment, I'm going to put a 9 too. This is really good shit, man. As I'm sipping on it too, the malt is coming out a bit more too. I guess it's probably warming up a little here. It's so it's tasty as fuck. So simple and so tasty. Yeah, Grimross, holy shit. If you can get a hold of it, I assume they're only in the Maritimes pretty much, but if you can get a hold of this is great. It's fucking great. I'm on board for this shit all day, every day. And Craig from Kid Beer Reviews says, sounds like a damn tasty beer. It is. Just, it's what I want beer to be, really. Like, as much as I appreciate beer that goes bigger and does interesting things with different flavors and stuff, when it gets down to it, I want to have something really tasty, satisfying, but simple. Doesn't have to be like as complex as like the most well-made scotches in the world or anything like that. As much as I can appreciate that sort of thing, I don't need it in a beer. I'd much rather just have something like this. Like it's a perfect balance between smooth simplicity and drinkability and just quality craftsmanship. So yeah, 9s across the board, man. All right. I will be back in about 15 minutes, I guess, something around there, and we'll do the last one for tonight for reviews anyway. So, Craig says simplistic is more. I agree. It can be, definitely. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will be back in about 15 minutes or give or take. And do one more beer tonight. Cheers.